Hey everyone, I'm Mine, and this is set number 70670, the Monastery of Spinjitzu from LEGO Ninjago Legacy. This set contains 1,070 pieces, 8 minifigures, and retails for $79.99 in the US. I chose to review this set today because I recently learned that it's going to be retiring soon, meaning that it'll no longer be on shelves pretty soon. And I have to say I was really sad to hear that because this is one of my favorite Ninjago sets of all time, and I highly recommend you pick it up if you don't have it yet. This was part of the first wave of Ninjago Legacy and was by far the best set in that wave. While most of the Legacy sets are just remakes of original sets with like a few updates and new features, this was pretty much a new set. Because the original was more like a facade of the building so that you could play with the Ninjago spinners inside of it. All this was meant to be a minifigure scale monastery. And while it's a little small, if they doubled the price of this and made it huge, I would love that. But it's very, very well done for what it is. This is built in two sections. They're completely separate from each other. They do not connect at all. You just have to place the one in front of the other, and you can place it out a little further if you want to have a little more room in there, or you can have them actually touching like I have them right here. And both look good. I think having it out a little bit probably looks the best if you have enough room to display it, but if you don't have a ton of room, you can have them like this, and it still looks good like that. As you can see from the front though, you have these black tiled roofs, which look really good. These two double doors, which swing open like this. You can push them open just like that. These look just like the doors in the show. It's super well done and well translated into physical parts. I really like that. And it opens up and you can see inside there. If we pull this section away, you can better look at what's on the inside there, and you can see just a wider range of what is actually in here. There's a little spinning blade over on the left. You have this little area in the middle with a teapot and little teacups and two places for minifigures to sit. Normally Wu would sit there, but you can sit anyone you want there. And then over here you have some clips to hold some weapons. I have the weapons on the minifigures currently, but what you're supposed to put there is the Scythe of Quakes and the Nunchucks of Lightning. This is a play feature right here. You're supposed to press down right here, and these two panels in the back will open up. There's supposed to be a little gold chicken piece that you put in that thing right there, and you press down on it, and it'll fly out. I have unfortunately lost that piece, as I purchased this set almost 2 years ago, and I did not plan on doing reviews at the time I got it, so did not take the care to keep every little piece intact. But just know there's a little golden chicken that's supposed to go in that basket. You press down here, and it's supposed to flip out. But I'm not a huge fan of that feature, so I prefer to keep it closed like this, and I tend to keep those weapons off, but you can put them there if you so desire. Speaking of storing weapons, over here on this other spinning blade that I was talking about, you can see there's a little jumper piece right there. That is where you're supposed to place the Sword of Fire, and it's supposed to be somewhat of a hidden weapon because by default you can have it like this, where it just displays this little bonsai plant. That's a really cute little build. It uses the skeleton-like piece in brown, which is a color I've never seen it used in before, to sort of represent the base of a tree, and then it goes up and holds a little clip of a samurai helmet horn piece going down to represent leaves, and I think that's really, really well done, and there's just a little drawer there. But you can have a ninja or someone come up and hit this, turn it around, and reveal that the Sword of Fire is hidden right there, which I think is really fun. And then finally, the last golden weapon, the Shurikens of Ice, are hidden right back here. You can see one poking through that window right there. This is a reference to the original dojo set, because while it was sort of a facade for the spinners, it did involve the Shurikens of Ice being hidden at the top, so they incorporate that in here. You can see one through the window, just like in the original. But you can see from the back, there's a little clip right here to hold the second Shuriken, so you can put them both up here. You don't have to store one somewhere else, which I appreciate. I talked about this in my review of Kai's Blade Cycle and Zane's Snowmobile, but I appreciate when there's places to actually hold the weapons. So there's a place to hold all 4 golden weapons here, which is really nice. I usually keep them on the figures, but I like that the option's there. While back here, I guess you could take a look at the back of the monastery. It's really not pretty at all from the back. There's nothing here that really looks good. There's a lot of blue sticking out and there's bright red, but you're never really going to be looking at it from this side. I mean, you never even see it from this side in the show, so this doesn't bother me that much. This is my first time looking at it from the back since I really built it, so it's not a huge deal to me. I don't mind it that much. You can also see this little Technic gear right here, which you can push it and pull out, and you can also turn back and forth. And if we go over to the other side, you can see what that affects. You can take a look at these little stairs right here. If you push that thing in, the stairs come out, and then if you turn it, this little spinning blade comes out. And I think that's fun to sort of simulate the whole training sequence that takes place in the first season of the show and in the pilots. And it's very elegant, it's quite well done, and very well hidden. And if you don't like that play feature, you could quite easily remove it, and it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, it's just fun, simple. I like it a lot. Coming back, let's take a look at the inside of the front part of the monastery that I removed earlier. As you can see, we have a few murals on the wall, which we'll take a closer look at in a second. But first, we've got a few more training things right here. We have this little stand right here that has an apple and a banana coming out, and you can flip it down like this, and this exclamation point will pop up. I'm not really sure what the point of this is supposed to be, but it's a cute little feature. You get some cool pieces here, and this is removable, so if you don't want it in your monastery, you can take it off quite easily. I believe the idea is you're supposed to have a ninja knock off the banana banana and the apple because they are attached but quite loosely, and then you would have them knock this over when they're done to show that, hey, we're done. And it's like, it's fun, it's simple. I think I would have really enjoyed it as a kid, but it's also removable, which I really, really appreciate. And then on the other side, we have like the spinning blade training dummy, and I always loved these things. They didn't really come in sets when I was a kid, so the fact that they come in so many sets nowadays does make me happy, because I think this is super fun, and it's very reminiscent of the stuff that was actually in the show, so yeah, I like this a lot. And just like the fruit one, it is also removable, so if you do not want it in your monastery, you can easily remove it to get a better look at like the actual walls themselves. Closing up the doors, there's what they look like from the inside. And now you can better look at those murals. As you can see, there's murals that represent most of the seasons before season 10 of the show. Here on this side, we have, I think that's supposed to be the Golden Dragon and the Overlord Dragon. We have Garmadon right here. We have the Great Devourer. We have some Spinjitzu. We have a mural of Zane defeating the Overlord right here. Here we have Chen and the Anacondri. I think that's all that's supposed to be. No other seasons besides that. And then over here we have the Preeminent. We have a little, like, clock that's meant to represent time twins. We have Nauticon. There's one of the Oni masks, and we have Firstborn. And then we also have the little mural from the end of March of the Oni. So these are pretty much murals that encompass all 10 seasons, I believe. Because that would be pilots, that would be season 1, this would be season 2, that's season 3, that's season 4. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, that's quite cool that it like encompasses all the seasons. These murals are not nearly as in-depth as they are in the show. However, they're like a good callback to each of the seasons, and I think they're like a really, really cool thing to have on the walls here. And I like them quite a lot. But yeah, as for the Monastery itself, I think that's about the most of it. There's a couple of cool like stickered parts up here, like there and there, and then the windows are stickers as well. They look quite good. I'm a big fan of how they did those. You probably see me fixed a lot of things here. I think that's the biggest issue of the Monastery, is it has a lot of things that are on like clips or hinges. It's not the most sturdy set in the world, as you saw, as that just fell off there. There's a lot of times where I'm like picking it up and different individual pieces will fall off, and like these will become out of whack, or these will become out of whack, and that's like my biggest complaint with this set, is it's not very sturdy. But it's not the biggest deal, because this is very much a display set, at least for me. I could see how, as a kid who would use it more for play, how this could be more annoying, because even me using it for photos, it does become a bit annoying to move it. But even saying that, that does not bother me that much. Like, I still love this set. The Monastery is something I've always wanted from Ninjago since 2011, and getting this in this form is super, super cool. It's everything I could ever want, and I love it so much. So moving on to the minifigures, here are the first 4 figures included in this set. We have the original 4 Ninja, Kai, Zane, Cole, and Jay. These are the Legacy 1 version / March of the Oni versions, whatever you'd like to refer to them as. And all of these guys come in many, many sets, so I'm not going to spend too much time going over them, but I'll just give you a general overview of my thoughts. Kai, I don't love this figure, definitely not one of my favorite Kai suits, feels a little bit too bland to me. Zane I quite like, still not one of my favorites, but I think he looks good, and I do like a touch of blue underneath his hood, which you guys will see in a second. Cole I'm iffy on. I really like the leg print there, but the torso print's just okay to me. I like the chainmail like armor underneath his robes, I think that's quite a cool look, but it's still not my favorite Cole suit. And then Jay I actually quite like a lot. This is by far my favorite Legacy 1 suit, and like one of my favorite Jay suits of all time. I think it works really, really well here. Hood's removed, you can better look at all of their torso prints. There's that blue I was talking about on Zane, which I think definitely makes this figure pop a lot more. They all have the standard faces that they've had since the movie, which works well on all of them except for Zane. Zane's face is quite weak because he's got like the dull eyes, and his expression on the other side doesn't really match his expression in the show, so I definitely wish they would update that face at some point. And then turning all these guys around, you can see their back torso prints and alternate happy faces. As I said, Zane's does not really fit the TV show Zane very well. It fits movie Zane, but this is not movie Zane, so I really wish they would update that. But Kai, Cole, and Jay I think all look quite good, and they fit quite well here. And then moving on, the next 4 figures in the set, we have the 2 newer Ninja, Lloyd and Nia, as well as Legacy Wu and Whiplash. Lloyd and Nia, I like both of these suits. They're not my favorites of all time, but I think they're good on both. Lloyd definitely reminds me a lot of March of the Oni because he was the main character in March of the Oni, and I quite like March of the Oni, so there is like a special place in my heart for this figure. And Nia, while I usually prefer silver or blue on her to the red and blue, there is a nice look to the red and blue, so while this isn't my favorite Nia suit of all time, red and blue is still like always really cool to get, so I like this one here. Legacy Wu I've looked at many times before, but I think he's like the perfect kind of Legacy figure. He's pretty much just like a straight remake of one of the 2011 Sensei Wu figures, just with more detailing and different characters on his torso and legs. And I love how it stays very true to the original design while also becoming its own thing, and I like that a lot. And then Whiplash, honestly, I'm not a big fan of. I do like the Legacy Skullkin, but I like Crunch and Knuckle. Whiplash here is just Crunch's head on Knuckles' body with like a Sensei Wu hat. It doesn't really look like Whiplash does in the show. Well, Whiplash really isn't in the show that much, but it really doesn't look like Whiplash's animated design, and it just feels like a reuse of parts here. It doesn't even have like the white cloth, which is like Whiplash's defining feature, so I really don't like that figure. However, this set comes with all 6 Ninja and Wu, so Whiplash really wasn't needed at all here, so I'm not going to complain about him. I just think he definitely could have been a stronger figure. Accessories removed, here's a better look at everybody's faces. And there is back torso prints as well as Nia and Lloyd's alternate faces. So as a whole, would I recommend this set? Yes, 100%. This is one of the coolest sets I own. It's one of my favorite Ninjago sets. Is it the best? Not objectively. Like, there is a lot of better Ninjago sets out there and a lot of better LEGO sets out there. However, the Monastery is such an iconic design from the show, and it's translated so well into an actual toy here that, like, I can't help but love it. It's also such a great value. You get all 6 Ninja and Wu and 1 villain for only $80 and over 1,000 pieces. Like, this could be $110, and that would be a fair price for this set. So the fact that it's only $80 is, like, really, really nice here. Yeah, there's just so much here to love about this set. I generally love, like, almost everything about this. It's really sad to see that it's retiring soon, so I highly recommend it. If you have not gotten this set yet, you should, because it's a great value, it's a great set, it's a great play set, it's a great display set, it's a great minifigure set. Like, there's so much to love here. The only thing is its fragility is, like, my main complaint with it, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. Like, it's still an amazing set, by all means. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you do plan on picking up this set, you can click the first link in the description. That's my Amazon affiliate link, and it'll take you to the Amazon listing for this set. If you buy this set through that link, it'll help support me at no extra cost to you, and I would greatly appreciate it. But as for this video, though, I think I'm going to call it here. If you enjoyed, please press like, subscribe if you're new. I do LEGO and Ninjago videos like this almost every day, so if you subscribe, you'll be the first to see them. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!